Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited to be here because I will tell you about 12 books which I read in August. It was a perfect month about reading stories because I was on vacation, I had a lot of free time, but I had a bit of book slump, but I read two wonderful stories which give me a chance to get out of this one. And today I will tell you about detective thrillers, about classics and about some fantasy and sci-fi stories. So let's start. I want to start with a story which just opened my August. It was Rosenfeldt and The Devils Beneath the Bridge. It's the story which based on the real story happened in Canada when the girl missed and then people found her dead. And this story connects with all her life, with all the children in this small town and with the teacher, because the teacher of this girl just said that he was guilty in this murder and he just spent a lot of time in prison. But after some period of time, people start to think that probably it wasn't truth and this person wasn't guilty and probably something happened and he decided to tell like this one. I like that this story connects with reality and I'm like a reader, I was really involved in the situation and I like to have extra information from internet about people, about what's happening, about the situation, about the crime we speak about, detective and thriller, and it was really enjoyable reading for me. I ate up this story for 2 days and it was really perfectly starting for the month because I put 4 points to this story, and I want to tell that I won't continue to read another books of Rosenfeldt because I read 2 of them in summer and understood that they are really perfect thrillers for me because they're so gloomy, dark, so atmospheric, and you really see yourself in the location which author give you, because I really enjoy the location things in the both stories. The next story which I want to tell you, it's Wodehouse, Blandings castle, and it's story which tell you about the people who live in a castle. They're rich, they have a lot of relatives, and of course they connect with Hollywood because a lot of people work in Hollywood making some films, and they decide what actor or actress would be in the film or what the film would be about. So I really like the small stories about this family because they're really comic or they have some funny moments, and you feel really happiness when you read these stories because actually you don't know these characters, you actually don't know these people, but I like Wodehouse that he tries to write his stories like to you speak with your relatives or with people who you know. I put this book 3 out of 5 because I actually enjoyed just some of the stories about the people which lived in this castle, but when I decided to read the story I was expecting another story. I was expecting about some classical genre, a book about people who live in a castle. They have their own problems which connect with this castle and probably with relatives, with the love lines, with the other things, but I was a bit mistaken because this story was about people who work in Hollywood, and a lot of stories were about Hollywood and actors and about some funny moments which continue to happen with these people from this family. Another story which I read, it was also classic, it was Bram Stoker and Snaker's Pass. So the story which just put on my list for August because it was just summer adventure story about some folks, about some legends, about some treasures which our main character wanted to find. In the beginning we have our main character who just sitting on the carriage and he just going through some locations, and the people who knew with him just tell him some legends. From the annotation and from the beginning of the story I was thinking about that the story would connect just only about with adventure and just searching this treasure in this location, because location was also interesting and the descriptions of nature was perfect because we are in a mountain with the fields with a lot of greeny things. It was really cool for summer and for August especially. But after some period the story started to be like love novel about the meeting with our main character, with the family, with another family, with the girl, and our main character decided to stay there longer because he liked this girl. Of course, we have some twist in the end of the story because Bram Stoker likes some unexpected twist, and I actually love this twist, but more of the things which I liked in the story was the relationship between people and the nature descriptions, and of course the folks and legends, because in the beginning, in the first part, we have a lot of folks and legends about this location, about what people like to do this one, what they believe, and what gods they believe, what the fairy things they believe. So it was really cool, and I put the story 4 out of 5. It was a really great to spend last summer months with this story. Also, the next classical story which I wanted to tell you today, it's Elizabeth Gaskell and her Cranford. It's a story which I heard a lot about, tons of wonderful reviews about the story that connect with a small local town where something happened with men, because a lot of women just live in this area. And at the beginning we can understand that it's truth, and a lot of these ladies, they are not so young, and in one moment the man comes to this location with his kids and decided to live there, but after some period something happened with him, and of course our girl, his daughter, decided to stay in Cranford because she really loved this location, because people were perfect, they were great. And this story is really classical story, because we spent a lot of time reading love lines, reading about the dresses, about the servings, about some dinners, about just walking in the park. So it was a really classical mood for reading this one, because after the reading one I decided that I need to take another stories from Elizabeth Gaskell, because it's really interesting and really involving style of writing. It was really cool to read about people, and I like her intonation of people, because people really different, and especially ladies and the elderly ladies, because they were so great, they were so kind. Most of the time they just like gossiping about everybody who lives in the city. So actually this story without beginning and without the ending, because you just come into this location and you just see the ladies' life and what they want, about their hobbies, about the future plans, and so on. I put the story 3 out of 5, and I think that it's okay, because actually I expected that I will have something wow at the end, but unfortunately not. The next story about wonderful and my favorite series of this year, it's Stephen King and his Wolf of Calla, and I really enjoy the story. It's the continuation of the series, and when I had a bad mood, when I had a really gloomy atmosphere near with me, I really enjoy reading Stephen King, because I really fan of his stories, and I actually know if I'm not in a good mood, I will tell his stories, and actually everything will be okay, because I like style of writing, I like his description of people, description of the world, description of other things. So this author is really perfect for me, because I'm a really fan. The Wolf of Calla tells us a story about the small location, small village that somewhere in the wood, somewhere near with the mountains, it's just removed from other cities and towns. And people who live in this location, they afraid some wolves, and we actually don't understand from the beginning who are they, because we just have names, wolves, and after some period of time they came to this location, take some kids, especially if the family have twins, they take one of the twin, and after some period this twin just come back, but he's different or she's different, and they can't understand anything. They like animals, they can't speak, they can't do other things, they can be like a human, and people sometimes have them at home like pets, or sometimes they have them like helpers for farming, like our main character did. And in one moment we can understand that after some period, after some days, the wolves must come and again take some kids. People decided to ask them for helping and try to be near with them, because they don't have another chance to save their kids, because they tried in the 1 year but nothing happened perfectly for them, and it was a really bad situation. And all the story, we just in this village, we just with Roland and his friends decided how to help the people. Do we need to help the people? About some secrets of the people, secrets of the robots, secrets of of other things which happen in this location, because this location connects with the other land which is really dead and nothing there, just some rubbish and other things, and the Roland just can't understand what's going on there. I really enjoyed the story. I put this 5 out of 5. It was really involving, it was really well paced, and in some moment it was insane, and the ending of the story was really shocking for me, because I was expecting something wonderful, because I know that Stephen King can give me a really good plot twist at the finishing line, but this one was really perfect for the story. I was eaten up, and I was really enjoying to read till the end the story in some days. And in one moment I just started to think about, oh my gosh, I have just 2 books and I will finish all the series. I actually will miss the series because I really love characters, the style of writing, locations which we have there, and of course we have in Wolf of Calla a lot of stories and legends which connect with this wolf, with these wolves, with the Calla, with this village and location, and I really enjoyed this one. The next story which I read, it was detective and thriller, and it was the first book in the series. It was Michael Hjorth and Hans Rosenfeldt, Dark Secrets, the story which actually have a main character in all books, and it is Sebastian Bergman. The story connects with also a small location where our main character just came for his family deals, and in one moment he can understand that something happened there, because the story begins with an interesting moment for thriller when somebody just put the teenager, and we can understand that he wanted to do something bad with him and put him in a swamp, and he did it, and after some period some kids and police found the body, and the searching started. In this story, I really love this location. I really love people, because everybody in this location just have their own secrets, have their own moments which they wanted to hide, and nothing know about this one. And I really love that the crime which connect with the killing of teenager was connecting with other moments which can happen in this location. And I really love the atmosphere of academy, the school where our boy teenager was studying, and most of the time with Sebastian Bergman we came to this location, to the school, just going through the corridors, through the other things. We connect with teachers, we connect with other people who work in this location, and it was really cool. It was a really wonderful idea to have the story in August before, you know, fall, because story connect with the schools, with the studying, with the people who work in a study and educational system. Also, it's really wonderful to read about nature, because we have this book in Scandinavian line, and the nature all the time is really perfect and wonderful, especially swamps, forests, mountains, and most of the time women characters are there. So I really enjoy the story. I put 4 out of 5. Actually, I don't like the main character here, the Sebastian Bergman. Also, the next story, it's Scandinavian line too. It's Blackout, Ragnar Jonasson. It's story which connect with the small village in Island, and it's a story connect with the volcanic eruption, with people who live there, and the story begins that we have crime. The man was killed somewhere in the forest, and people actually don't know what's happened, because this person was a builder. He was a person who actually helped other people who live in this location, and he was really cool for a connection with him, and people actually don't understand what's going on, and they try to have the police there for searching this crime. Also, sometimes we have in the story description of volcanic eruption, but actually it's not so cool, because for me the story was like, you know, like parts, like a crime part, a volcanic part, people's part. Also we have line here with the girl who was stolen, and she was sitting somewhere, and she tried to understand who is she, why she's there, and why she's in this situation, what's going on, and how she needs to help herself for surviving. And then again, the finishing line is just what's happened with the crime. I actually don't like stories like this when I put 2 out of 5, and I think that I wouldn't take another story of this author. The next story is also Scandinavian line, and it was really cool. The Witch Hunter, Seeck. The story connect with the author who wrote stories, they are popular, of course. He wrote stories which connect with witch, with other things which connect with the witch and the people who try to kill them and so on. And the beginning of the story just connect with this author because he came to another city and he left his wife at home alone, and she lives somewhere, you know, removed from other people actually. And in one moment people start to think that something wrong with her because she doesn't answer their phone calling and other things. So when police came, they understood that she is just dead, and she's sitting near with a TV with a wonderful makeup, with dress, other clothes, with a haircut. So she is like alive, but she is not. And they started to call the husband to tell him the situation, and he, with a nervous moment, started to tell them that they need to check other locations near with the house because this all reminds him a moment from his book which he wrote. So the story is really cool. I put this 4 out of 5. But finishing line I didn't like. All the story was really perfect, but finishing line and finishing twist was so upsetting for me. The next 2 stories I have in another video. I will put you a link and you can go there and watch all my emotions. It's The Asylum, the story which tells us about a lady who is in a psychiatrical hospital and asylum, and the story is historical fiction which told us about bad lives of ladies in this century, about living in hospitals like this one, about the treatment which doctors try to use for helping these ladies, and other moments. So I really love the idea that our main character girl, she actually doesn't remember what's going on with her in the past, and she tries to remember with the help of another doctor, the new one, and he tries to use the new method for helping her. I put this 3 out of 5 because actually in the middle I started to be bored a bit, and I understood that actually the story, if it would be small, it would be really great. The next story which I read in this video, it was The Guest House, the story which I was expected to have another story, but I have different one. So the story connect with a remote house somewhere in the wood where some people decided to come, and they just booked some rooms there because they thought it's a hotel, and they decided to come there for relaxing, for chilling, and to having some things for themselves because they sometimes have problems with the mental health. And the story is just talking us about people who just unknown, they not meeting somewhere before, and they decided to be together and spend the weekends together. We have different characters, we have different situations which they have there, and of course in the story we have moments of shivering because the writer tries to tell us that something wrong there, like maybe ghosts, maybe some other things, because we have different sounds, strange sounds, different moments with the cat, which all the time just in a hotel, but nobody just takes her, and other moments which can happen there. Also, we have here some death, but people just start to think that, oh, what is it? Is it something like from reality, like it's natural death, or probably somebody just give a murder. But after the reading of the story, I understood that it was really a wonderful story for August, because it was great location, it was great house, it was great ideas about writing the story, where no one serving, no one people who work in this hotel, just people who just booked and came, and the house was just electronic with some clues, keys, and so on. So actually I really enjoyed the story. I put this 5 out of 5, and it was really great. And if you wanted to have thrillers about understanding people's lives, people's souls, their ideas, hobbies, and how they will live together, you can take this one because it's really great. It's my big respect to the author. And also I wanted to tell you about the 2 stories which I read, and it was last stories in this video. So the first one is Pratchett, Thief of Time, and it was my appreciation to the author because I love this author. I'm really fan of his stories. I read series about witch, I read series about Tiffany, and I was really fantastically spending time with his stories, and I decided that it's time to finish another series about death, and Thief of Time was the last story in this series, and I was really enjoying it. It's really connect with time, it's really connect with people, with their lives, with their things which they wanted to do, about the time which they want to spend with somebody. And I really love this. In the book we have different lines from different characters, and all they connect with time, with the moments which they try to control their time, with the moments which they wanted to do while they have the time. And in this story we have the main problem that bad guys, as always, decided to kill humans and just start time from the beginning. As I remember that a lot of time ago it was a clock which connect with the clock of the earth, and if we do something bad with this clock, the apocalypse started. So they decided to do this one. They found the person who can make these clocks, and all the story we just connect with him, his understanding how he need to do these clocks, and so on. I put this story a 5 out of 5. It was perfectly the reading for me. I was so enjoyable for being there, and I really appreciated Pratchett's books, and I wanted to start another his series about guards, probably in November or December. And the last story, which was my DNF of August, and it's a really bad thing for me because I really love this author. It's Sailor Son Kesey. What can I tell? I don't know what's happened with me, but I read 200 pages from 500 something, and I was bored. We are at Alaska, and we connect with the people. We can see who are they, what they do, how they do fishing, because a lot of people in this small village, they just doing fishing, and just then they make their free time somewhere in a tavern, in the bars. They just drink a lot, have some fights, and so on. Actually, I wasn't enjoyed, and I decided just to stop, because if 200 wasn't pay me attention, so it means that all the story would be not so cool for me. So I told you today about wonderful and not wonderful stories which I read in August. I really enjoyed this month, and I'm really happy that I just get out of my book slump and I read a lot of great stories. Tell me in comments what books you read in August, how many of them, what was the best, maybe the worst from them, and of course just give me recommendation about some stories which you wanna to give me for my reading, and just sharing with you my opinion. Thanks for watching my videos. Bye!